Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Lee Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course, we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Mr. John Campea.
Good morning, Crystal Lee. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Look, I just got to share this with you quickly. You know, one of my favorite things every day is getting all the messages that I get on Facebook or Twitter and whatever from you guys. And one of the guys on Facebook sent me this picture. It is the picture of a tweet from a guy, Brett White, and the tweet is genius. I read this like every 10 minutes for about 2 hours last night. Simply said, DCWB is all like, Wonder Woman's too confusing for a movie, and Marvel Disney's all like, here's a raccoon with a machine gun. And for those who don't know what the picture is, that's Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's just a short frame from some of the footage that was shown at Comic-Con of Rocket Raccoon spinning around and firing off a gun and yelling in his Rambo style. Let me read that once again, because this is gold. DCWB is all like, Wonder Woman's too confusing for a movie. And Marvel Disney is all like, here's a raccoon with a machine gun. Genius, folks. Genius. That's brilliant stuff. I had to share that today.
Just another reason why I'm not a fan of Rocket Raccoon right now. And also joining us in studio is AMC's editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hello, good morning. I actually saw that yesterday as well, John, and I mean, to put it in layman's terms, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Isn't that great?
Come on. Not to mention a walking, talking tree.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. We're like, here's a raccoon with a gun. I love that. Hey, before we get into the movie news, guys, I want to remind you, there's a new movie opening up this week that we've been talking about for a long time. Very excited for. I actually saw it the other day. Kick-Ass 2 is opening this week in AMC theaters everywhere. Going over to www.amctheaters.com right now to get your advance tickets for theater, showtime, everything. And we've got something for you guys. Now, Crystal Lee, in her hands, has a Kick-Ass 2 hoodie, a very comfortable, high-quality hoodie, actually. She liked it so much, she snatched that one for herself.
Great color.
We have 4 of these Kick-Ass 2 hoodies to give away. So here's what we want you guys to do. We want you to take a picture of yourself holding up a sign of some kind that says your kick-ass superhero name. So now obviously names like Red Mist are already taken and things like that, but come up with your own kick-ass superhero name. And now you can wear a costume if you want. You don't have to wear a costume, whatever, but strike some kind of pose, hold a sign with your Kick-Ass 2 name. Then what we need you to do is email that picture to us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. And this part's important. In the subject line, put Kick-Ass 2, okay? So email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put Kick-Ass 2. Attach the picture. We're going to pick 4 people out of the bunch that come in, and you will get a Kick-Ass 2 green hoodie sweatshirt that's actually much better than I thought it would be. It's a really cool shirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good luck.
I can't wait to see everyone's names.
I'm excited for the submissions.
All right, guys. Actor Vin Diesel is becoming a very busy man with his new film Riddick set to hit AMC theaters on September 6th and going into production of the 7th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise. You can add another franchise to his resume. According to reports, Diesel is going to produce and star in the upcoming Universal film Soldiers of the Sun. Set in a post-apocalyptic future, Soldiers of the Sun follows a group of soldiers who do battle with orcs, said to be an alien race, as they search for a legendary city of gold in Mexico. John, what do you think of Diesel joining this new sci-fi franchise?
This is Vin Diesel's wheelhouse. These sci-fi actioneer films, this is what he's good at, this is what he thrives at, and this is what we love seeing him in. This also sounds kind of a cool blending of different mythos. I mean, A Search for the Lost Mexican City of Gold is very westerny, fighting orcs that are going to be alien races, soldiers, military. Yeah, I mean, we don't know anything about the film really right now, but just from the outset, this sounds like a nice direction for him and a good addition for the film as well. So I like what I'm hearing. Amy Rose?
Vin Diesel is becoming like the new Batman, where we can't go a show without discussing him.
You do realize you just started the Vin Diesel's Batman rumor, right?
Yep.
You do know that, right?
Damn it, you heard it here first. No, really though, it's funny. I think you nailed it yesterday. He's really keeping himself in the news a lot lately.
He's a genius.
Yeah, genius. It's funny though. But yeah, this is, like you nailed it, in his wheelhouse. He's good at these kind of roles. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of action, funny, comedy, one-liners, the same thing as he does best, and it does sound very much like Riddick with a little bit of an edge, and those are fun. It's not like I go into that movie expecting something other than a fun time at the movies, and he's very likable, very charismatic, so why not?
Agreed.
It's nice to see him grow out of the Fast franchise as well and see him in other things. It's fun. Acclaimed director Darren Aronofsky's new biblical film Noah isn't set to hit AMC theaters until March 2014, but that doesn't mean he's not busy looking forward to his next project. According to reports, Aronofsky is in negotiations to direct the upcoming film Red Sparrow, based on the novel with the same name. In present-day Russia, ruled by blue-eyed, unblinking President Vladimir Putin, Russian intelligence officer Dominika Egorova struggles to survive the post-Soviet intelligence jungle. Ordered against her will to become a sparrow, a trained seductress, Dominika is assigned to operate against Nathaniel Nash, a young CIA officer who handles the agency's most important Russian mole. Amy Rose, does Red Sparrow sound like a good fit for Aronofsky?
Absolutely. Aronofsky is such a visionary director. I love his work, and I mean, sure, he's really good at the obscure, like Pi and Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan, but he's also very good at the grounded films like The Wrestler. I mean, he's really done everything. I think he really gets amazing performances out of his actors, and I just love the vision he has. This kind of has an Alias feel to it. Can we get Jennifer Gardner up in the mix again? Because I'd really, really enjoy that. But yeah, I think it sounds really fun, and I'm a really big fan of Aronofsky.
You know, reading this description reminds me of the time when I was hired as a trained seductress. You look into these eyes, you're all mine. No, Aronofsky is fabulous.
Yeah.
And you know, I love seeing whatever he gets his hands on, and some type of like an actioneer, espionage kind of thriller. I love anything to do with Russia too. Just throw Russia in the mix and I'm all on board.
You're right.
I think this sounds fascinating for his kind of a thing. And you're right about I didn't even think about the Alias similarities, but it does sound like kind of like an Alias thing. This sounds great to me. Sounds like a good fit. Sadly, Aronofsky has also developed a habit of attaching his name to things and then not doing them later. So I hope that doesn't come to pass here. So I do really hope this works out because this sounds like a nice project for him.
Isn't it funny in true form that Ridley Scott has Exodus as well, same time that Noah? It's like this always happens in Hollywood. It has the two similar films going down the pipeline. It's
and
very
I think they both look pretty darn good.
They look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Sparrow is actually a great book. I've read the book, and so I'm actually really excited for the movie because the book was pretty good.
Nice. All right, well, we've reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Chris Lee's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. And then Amy Rose and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chris Lee, what do we got?
Lionsgate has announced that they have secured feature film rights to the best-selling novel Life After Life. The story is described like this. What would you do differently if you could live your life over again? The story asks. When Ursula Todd discovers she has the extraordinary ability to start her life from scratch, she finds that even the smallest of choices can have the biggest of impacts. Set against the backdrop of the Second World War, Atkinson explores the challenges and triumphs of one woman's many lives as she learns to love, to lose, and ultimately to live a life free from regret. John, buy or sell the sounds of Life After Life?
You know, although if Lionsgate is picking it up, I'm sure the story has merit to it. I'm still going to sell it. To me, it sounds a little bit too much like a Groundhog Day / Butterfly Effect movie. So it's just not clicking with me. It might end up being brilliant, but right now it's just not clicking with me. So for now, it's a sell.
I'm going to buy it. I think it sounds really interesting, philosophical, existential, blah, 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 and I think that raises a lot of interesting questions. We all think about it, regrets and just living your life to the fullest and lessons and all that, and I think it sounds cool. Not to mention I'm a history buff, so set against Second World War sounds really cool.
I think that's the only thing that sounds interesting about it is the part that it's with the Second World War, because other than that, I would probably sell too, because I don't want to know what I would have to do differently.
Come on.
I like it the way it is. A new trailer for the upcoming Joseph Gordon-Levitt film Don Jon has just hit the web. You can see a link to the trailer in the video description below. Set to hit AMC theaters September 27th, Don Jon follows John Martello, played by Gordon-Levitt, a strong, handsome, good old-fashioned guy. His buddies call him Don Jon due to his ability to pull a different woman every weekend, but even the finest fling doesn't compare to the bliss he finds alone in front of the computer watching pornography. Barbara Sugarman, played by Scarlett Johansson, is a bright, beautiful, good old-fashioned girl. Raised on romantic Hollywood movies, she's determined to find her Prince Charming and ride off into the sunset. Wrestling with good old-fashioned expectations of the opposite sex, John and Barbara struggle against a media culture full of false fantasies to try and find true intimacy. John, buy or sell this new trailer for Don Jon?
I buy this huge. I loved this trailer, and I'm so intrigued by this film. You know, I'm not one of these guys who believes many actors should jump behind and get in the director's chair. But Gordon-Levitt, he's very experienced behind the camera action. I've been fascinated by this. And this trailer just made me howl. Like the one part of the trailer that gets me most, because guys, we've all had this conversation with our buddies. We all have. When he's like, Well, what happened? Why is she so mad? She caught me watching pornography. The other buddy. That's it? I know, right? I mean, we've all had that conversation. So I think this looks great. The trailer's sharp. It looks funny. The accents are hilarious. The performances look great. So for me, it's a buy.
I've had that problem too, unfortunately. What are you gonna do? Yeah, no, I'm gonna buy it. I love him. I've expressed my admiration for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's so talented. I think he's gonna be a great director. This looks really witty and also has a lot of heart. And Scarlett Johansson, she looks hot as hell in that trailer. And they look like they have really good chemistry. And Tony Danza, oh yeah.
I'm so glad. I can't believe I didn't mention Tony Danza. I'm so glad you did. Yeah, I think he looks great in this.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see him in it.
I'm really excited for this. And everything with his hit record production company, I just could not be a bigger fan of him and his work.
I love that it makes me feel like I'm home, sadly, when I watch this trailer. I feel like I knew these guys growing up. This was my life.
I wish I did. Woo.
True Blood star Sam Tramiel has joined the upcoming film The Fault in Our Stars. Based on the novel by John Green, a teenage girl stricken with cancer falls for a boy in her support group, and then the two form a bond as they deal with their illness. Tramiel will play the father to Shailene Woodley's lead character. Amy Rose, buy or sell Tramiel joining The Fault in Our Stars?
I'm gonna sell this concept because it just sounds like such a heartbreaking tale that I don't really need to see right now. But I guess I will buy Sam in the film because I think he's talented from what I've seen in True Blood, and I'm excited that he's going to, you know, show his chops in other ways. And Shailene Woodley, I dig, but the story sounds really depressing.
I'm going to buy this, actually. I think the film sounds like it could be really touching, as opposed, you see depressing, I see touching. I think it looks, and Shailene Woodley, I think this is going to be a great vehicle for her. But having Tramiel in it, like, I haven't watched a lot of True Blood, mostly because it's a bad show. But from all the episodes of True Blood that I have watched, because trust me, all my friends tell me they love it, so I try to watch it. I've really liked him in it.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those really bright spots for me, and so I'm curious to see him in a role like this, especially acting alongside Shailene Woodley. So I'm both fascinated, and I think it sounds like it could be all right. So for me, it's a buy.
It sounds awfully similar to a Nicholas Sparks movie that was made many moons ago with Mandy Moore.
Don't get me started.
Who had cancer and
A Walk
kind of
to
the same
Remember?
thing. Thank you. Sounds a little similar, minus the support group. So
You mean like all his movies?
cautiously. Yesterday, we shared with you the new images from the upcoming film Vampire Academy, and today, the first official trailer has hit the web. You can see the link to the trailer in the description of this video below. John, buy or sell the first trailer for Vampire Academy?
Sell.
No!
Sell fast, sell hard, sell often. Look, I gave this, let me give this disclaimer again. This is clearly not a movie with me as the target audience. I am not the demographic they are going for, so I can clear, this is probably going to have its appeal. But I have two big problems with this trailer. Number one, I look at it and all I see is a desperate, sad wannabe of Superhero High and Vampire Diaries mashed together. The other thing that really bothers me about the trailer, forget about the subject matter. There is a difference between a trailer giving everything away and then a trailer not giving you anything at all. This is the example of a trailer that doesn't give you anything. I watched that trailer. I'm like, I still can't, other than the fact that there's, once again, the beautiful vampires. I can't tell you a thing. I couldn't tell you word one about what this movie's about. Not a thing. No clue. Terrible trailer. So that doesn't mean the movie's going to be bad. We've seen great trailers to awful movies. We've seen awful trailers to great movies. This could be that example. I'm just saying the trailer is terrible. So for me, it's a sell.
I am surprisingly going to buy it. And my expectations were pretty much to the ground here. I have not read the book, so I don't know about the content. I know there's like a huge love for this book series, but the trailer surprised me. It doesn't look like a Twilight. It looks much darker. There seems to be a lot of cool action, some sexy scenes, and again, with having no expectations seeing this, sure, I feel like we know what it's about by seeing. It's called Vampire Academy.
It's a vampire school, John.
Yeah, come on. But for what I thought, it seems a little more adult than I expected. And I thought it was a decently shot trailer.
I'm completely the demographic for this trailer because I love vampire movies and any kind of teen
too.
drama. So there were parts of it that brought me back to Buffy, and I know that you're both going to yell at me, but there were parts of it that brought me back to Buffy, and I'm super excited.
Why would I yell at you? I loved Buffy.
All right, good.
All right, well, look, before we get to Mailbag, one of the other films that's opening up in AMC theaters everywhere this week is the new film Paranoia, starring such guys as Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, Liam Hemsworth. I keep on wanting to say Chris Hemsworth. So the film's opening AMC theaters. Now, I recently had the grand opportunity to sit down with one of the stars of the film, Mr. Harrison Ford, to talk about Paranoia. Take a look. One of the things that jumped out to me right away watching this film, and I was wondering if this could work, was these older style storylines of titans of industry, industrial espionage, backstabbing, with a very modern context of social media and modern fears of privacy. The film was able to really put those two together well. What do you think was the key to that working in the movie?
A good story, a well-written story, and public interest in the issues that they were dealing with. I think everyone recognizes, and the current news sources tell us, that the information gathered about yourself and your behavior online, all the way from the concerns of national security to the commercial value of that information is going to be used against you or to take advantage of you. But people have given up that privacy, that information willingly for the convenience of a device.
I was part of a podcast about a year ago, and we were talking about some of our favorite actors. We said, what is it we love about Harrison Ford? And the phrase that came up repeatedly was intensity in subtlety. And watching these scenes in this movie between you and Gary Oldman, it just epitomized that. There is this incredible intensity in really beautiful subtlety. What was it like with you and Gary working off each other in those scenes? Because those scenes were just incredible.
They were really fun. I had a wonderful time working with him 20 years ago, and the pleasure was still there again. They were very well written scenes, and it was a pleasure to work with him again.
Well, Mr. Ford, congratulations on the film, and we're really excited to have it on AMC screens.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you again.
Bye. Thank you.
Once again, Paranoia opens in AMC theaters everywhere this week. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Well, we've come to that part of the show for Mailbag. And listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can take some chances and email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Every day we pick out a couple of messages from the Mailbag to address on the show. Chrisley's got a few of them pulled out. So, Chrisley, what do we got?
Renee Gonzalez writes, what do you think if Vin Diesel was to portray Lex Luthor? You think that might be an awesome possibility? Maybe Warner Brothers should look at that possibility. He would be awesome as Lex. His voice would definitely be a plus. What do you think?
Renee Gonzalez is actually the pseudonym, of course, for Vin Diesel. That's his writing name. Because Vin Diesel somehow finds a way to get us continually talking about Vin Diesel. No way. No chance, no how would I ever want Vin Diesel as Lex. Now, you've already heard me talk about, I really like Vin Diesel in his environment and the things that he does. But one of the things that Vin Diesel does not strike me at, I'm talking about his on-screen persona. I don't know Vin Diesel personally, all right? I'm just talking about his on-screen persona. One of the things that does not strike me as is the world's most intelligent man. And that's what Lex Luthor is.
Ouch.
Lex Luthor is like the world's most intelligent man. Smarter than Tony Stark. Smarter than he is supposed to be that level of intelligence. And the Vin Diesel on-screen persona is the action, the hard ass, the blow him up, the kick him in the face. That's the guy I don't see. And because he's fostered and very carefully crafted that on-screen persona, when I look at him now, I don't see the guy who sits behind the desk and is the world's smartest, most intelligent man, who's so smart he can go toe-to-toe with Superman in different ways. And that's just not what I see when I look at Vin Diesel. So as much as I like Vin Diesel, it's a matter of fit. And for me, this just doesn't look like a fit. So Amy Rose, how would you see that?
Agreed. I know he's bald, but it doesn't work there. It doesn't work there. We love Vinny, but I don't see him there. I'm still rooting for Bryan Cranston. And he was actually interviewed the other day asking if he'd be interested. And he's like, yes, I think Lex Luthor is a very misunderstood, lovable character. And I love that. It's Cranston. So Cranston. And another name I wanted to toss in the mix with Matthew Good. I think he'd be a really good Lex Luthor. And like you said, he's brilliant, he's calculating, he's patient, he has such a plan, and I don't think Vin's the guy for the job. I know we love him, but not for Lex.
And Lex Luthor has a smoothness and a slickness about him that Vin Diesel, I mean, he's got like the mechanic smoothness, not like the Lex smoothness, so not gonna happen.
Agreed, yeah.
Fernando writes, writes, "Hey guys, my question is about the universe of Hanna Barbera's heroes. I just can't understand why they don't use those characters. Herculoids, Space Ghost, Knights of Arabia, Johnny Quest, Mighty Miter, Galaxy Trio, Birdman, Thundar, all of them. Deserves a chance as live-action movies. What do you think?"
No, they don't.
Johnny Quest?
That was quick.
Now here's the thing. A Johnny Quest movie actually is coming from the guys who produced the most recent Hitman film. As a matter of fact, and I'm sure he won't mind that I mention him, I get emails quite often from email back and forth with that producer who's actually going to be producing Johnny Quest and the new Hitman movie and stuff like that. And he's asked to come in and be on the show sometime, and we're going to have him in sometime. There should be a lot of fun. Look, first of all, nobody would go to see any of these films.
Not true.
No one's gonna go see a
5 of you.
Mighty Mitor movie.
5 of us.
Yeah.
Fernando, we can have a date there. Let's do this.
On top of that, hey, you know what? If you did a feature-length version of, forget Space Ghost, if you did a feature-length version of Space Ghost Coast to Coast, I would be there to watch it. The only other
Knights of Arabia, come on!
the only other Hanna Barbera hero that I could see even being a possibility, and you have to go way comedy on it, is maybe Captain Caveman.
Oh, that was my favorite.
I maybe could see Captain Caveman, but as much as I love these things and watching these, and remember, there's that old cartoon show. I'm a bit older than all you guys, so when I was a little kid, this might be before your time, the Hanna Barbera had this show on where like every week it was like an Olympics. But it was team superhero, Hanna Barbera superheroes, team villains, and then like a team other miscellaneous characters. So, and they would all compete in different events, and at the end of each week there was a winning team. It was ridiculous. But I can't see any of these, number one, even being good, number two, being successful. And you have to be both. I don't think you can be either. The Johnny Quest one is interesting because there is a different type. Johnny Quest is different from a lot of those other Hanna Barbera ones. And they are making a Johnny Quest movie, and that has potential. Other than that, I could go back and watch Herculoids a lot and relive my wonderful childhood memories, but I don't think it would be good, and I don't think it would work. Just my opinion, though.
Oh, Fernando. I mean, I grew up on this too, and it makes me happy. On one point, playing devil's advocate, sure, maybe these should remain, animated. On the other hand, it would be very nostalgic and wonderful, but I don't think the market is as large as I want to believe it is, if I'm being realistic. But thank you for making me smile and bringing up part of my childhood.
Yes.
All right, folks, listen, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. And listen, I want to remind you again, if you want this amazing Kick-Ass 2 hoodie, it's really good quality. Email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com, put in the subject line Kick-Ass 2, and send us a picture of you holding a sign with your Kick-Ass superhero name. Hey, listen, if you're not already subscribed to us, become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news, and of course our daily AMC Movie Talk show and our weekend AMC Mailbag show. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video. You'll find links to our iTunes and our Stitcher Radio. And once again, head on over to www.amctheaters.com to get your advance tickets to movies like Kick-Ass 2 or Paranoia or anything else that's in theaters right now. So thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank, as always, first of all, our lovely host, Miss Chris Lee Kennedy. Chris Lee, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Lee.
Of course, the associate editor of movie news here at AMC Movie News, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
At Amy Rosie, AMIROSIE.
And thank you most of all to you guys. Listen, the most important part of our show is absolutely not what we have to say. It's what you have to say. Make sure you jump on down to the comment section. Leave your thoughts on any or all the comments and the topics that we discuss here today. So my name's John Campia. Find me on Facebook or Twitter at my name. And until next time, bye-bye.